Now there's a couple tenets behind Project Zero Cool that I think it's kind of clear to understand. It really builds the foundation of the concept that drives Project Zero Cool and what I hope to achieve with it someday. And the first tenet is something everybody should be familiar with. It is buyer beware. You always hear that. It's the consumer's responsibility to be buying, to be aware of what they buy. So if you buy something and because advertisements told you to, or enough advertisements suggested it, maybe even promised something, and you buy it and it didn't pan out, well, that's all on you. Buyer beware. There's harmful effects you didn't expect, well, buyer beware. Maybe they warned you in some fine print, but ultimately it is basically a tenet that says the responsibility of consuming something responsibility solely lies on that end user, on that consumer. So in effect, when you purchase a product, everything, not only are you setting an example and saying, yes, it's okay to purchase this product, but the effects that happen because of use or purchasing of that product fully lies on your shoulders. So yes, maybe you just bought one product and that one product didn't cause a whole lot of damage to anybody. But when you realize that that product's being made by the thousands, by the millions, by the hundreds of millions, and is being made and put together and shipped by companies all over the world, it's your responsibility. You have your responsibility for all the effects of those companies, of those raw materials that are being depleted, the carbon footprint, warming. All that's on our responsibility. All that's on our shoulders. Every purchase decision that we make. So, buyer beware means that it's the buyer's responsibility. We like to blame corporations. We like to blame other businesses. We like to blame advertisements that mislead us. We like to blame convenience. But ultimately, it's buyer beware. It's the buyer's responsibility for everything that we use in today's society and that we force our kids to use. Another tenet is that while it is our responsibility to be aware of what we buy, it is made difficult for us to be aware of what we buy because there are institutions and companies and corporations who hide the true costs of products, of the processing of chemicals, of the processing of materials. Corporations and companies hide the effects of the business that they do from the consumer, and they even misinform and miseducate the consumer, us, you, and do this quite deliberately. And the reason why they do this is because their responsibility is to their shareholders. It's to making a profit. It's to their bottom line. They really don't have any other responsibility because it's ultimately our demand for their products and services that drives what they do. Their whole purpose is to provide what it's our responsibility to be aware of. So, you may be starting to see kind of the concern that I have, that basically consumers cannot fully be aware. But before we can be aware, and truly, because it's our responsibility to be aware, that when we are making purchasing decisions, we can, in effect, make decisions in such a manner that it benefits companies that do make us more aware. And so, what if a competitive advantage became transparency? This is not something new. This is not something that I came up with. This is actually a trend that's been emerging for a while. And corporations and companies have been trying their hardest to delay the evolvement of transparency. But that's the big thing about democracy. We want other countries to be transparent in their government actions. We want other countries to have their companies be transparent. But on the local level, we really don't practice transparency ourselves. We as consumers don't demand transparency. The only way that we can really demand transparency is by changing our purchasing decisions. So slowly you see an involvement where companies are going out of their way to be sustainable, to make new decisions. But it's very hard for them to let others know, that they are making the right decisions. And so with Project Zero Cool, I hope to one day be able to help the consumer become more aware, to be able to provide a mapping system where you can track a product from the storefront to the raw material location where the materials are extracted from beginning to end, from cradle to cradle. I like buzzwords. And that's what Zero Cool is all about. Representing this data that's out there. They have it. Corporations know how many pennies to the fourth decimal place that it costs for them to produce their products. Why do we not know to the location where our products come from? And so hopefully Project Zero Cool can help bridge this gap, and hopefully this sounds a little bit interesting. And if so, I encourage you to watch my next video, where I hopefully can go into more detail on the specific aspects of Project Zero Cool, and how I hope to develop them, and how hopefully I can encourage you or someone out there to help me develop this project. Because it is not a project that can be done by one person, but it can be done, and it can be done by a few people, and it can have a great impact on the way we make decisions, and it can in effect change the way that corporations start doing business. So with that, this is Ernest on the go. I gotta go. Have a good one. Bye.